Hello and welcome back to the Fantasy Playmakers. What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going through my week 3 quarterback rankings, so breaking down my top 20 quarterbacks. If you guys are watching this and you're enjoying the content, please just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. These could be any fantasy football related questions. I will make sure to get back to you. But let's just get right into it. Starting off with my number 20 quarterback, it is going to be Carson Wentz. And now a lot of this is going to depend on his status for the game. Right now, he's dealing with ankle injuries on both ankles, which sounds terrible. But if he's ready to go, then he'll slide in here at number 20. Obviously, if he's super limited or, is out, he would just get booted from this list. Then at 19, I have Joe Burrow, and it kind of seems low for Burrow here at 19, but I just think there's a few quarterbacks ahead of him who have some really solid matchups, and he's just not in that top tier of guys where he's kind of matchup proof. I think there's a pretty fine line between Burrow and then guys like Stafford and maybe Tannehill, players like that. So, he's going to come in here at number 19. Then at 18, I have Sam Darnold, and this is a great matchup for Sam Darnold this week against the Texans. He has already played well the first 2 weeks of the season, and so I think he's going to continue that week 3 on Thursday Night Football against the Texans. Then at number 17, I have Justin Fields, and he is officially going to be making his first NFL start. Andy Dalton is out, which means it's Justin Fields' time to be the QB1 in Chicago. Hopefully he can hold on to that job throughout the season. He did have an opportunity to play in week 2. Dalton was in and out of that game with that same knee injury he's dealing with now. And Fields, if you're looking at the stat line, it was not good, but it was very, very misleading. So he went 6 for 13 for 60 passing yards, an interception, and 30 rushing yards. And so if you're just looking at that stat line, you would say, yeah, he was terrible, but that's kind of lazy analysis because you really got to look closer. He had a bomb, probably like a 40-yard pass to Allen Robinson that would have been a touchdown. Allen Robinson drops it. That's not something you can expect on a week-to-week basis out of one of the best NFL wide receivers. Then he had another deep pass to Darnell Mooney that was dropped. So there was a lot of points left on the board. And honestly, he doesn't even have to play that well to live up to this QB 16 ranking because he does have that rushing floor. So I think Justin Fields will be just fine this week. Then at number 16, I have Derek Carr, and it's definitely time to start putting some respect on his name. And 16 may actually seem low for how he's been performing. Honestly, one of the main factors why he is here at number 16 is that he is questionable for the game. I do think he's going to play, but we're just not sure. Is he going to be limited? That all that stuff is going to factor in. And so some of the players ahead of him are healthy and have some solid matchups. And one of those guys is going to be Teddy Bridgewater. He's played very well throughout the first 2 weeks of the season, and now he's going up against the Jets this week, so that should just be a great matchup for Teddy Bridgewater. Then at number 14, I have Kirk Cousins. He's just been very consistent and productive the first 2 weeks of the season, and I think that continues here in week 3. At number 13, I have Daniel Jones, and he probably took the biggest jump from my week 2 rankings to my week 3 rankings, but we really have to start valuing him as a very capable fantasy football quarterback. Through 2 games, he's averaging 25.4 points per game. He's the quarterback 4 overall, and he's put up those 2 solid performances against top NFL defenses. It was the Broncos and the Washington football team. So it wasn't like he was just, stat padding against cake defenses. That's not what he was doing. Those were very capable defenses that he was going up and putting up a lot of points against. And this week he goes up against the Falcons, which is arguably the best matchup for the quarterbacks. So far this season, they've given up the most points to the position. You've had Jalen Hurts and Tom Brady just absolutely shred that defense. So this is a great week for Daniel Jones, and he's really possessing a lot of that rushing ability that saves a lot of these quarterbacks. If you're looking towards the top of this list, you'll see it eventually. Almost every guy at the top has at least some rushing ability. That's really where fantasy football is being pushed. So as long as Daniel Jones can be competent in the other areas and just not turn the ball over, then he's going to have a great rest of the year for fantasy. At number 12, I have Ryan Tannehill. That Titans offense really kind of bounced back in week 2, and this Titans defense is just so bad. So Ryan Tannehill may have to throw the ball more this season, which should definitely help his overall ceiling. Then at number 11, I have Matthew Stafford. He's looked great so far this year. He does just kind of draw a tough matchup against this Buccaneers defense. Their secondary is a little bit thin, but as a whole, their defense is still pretty solid and very opportunistic when it comes to turnovers. so just not an ideal matchup for him. At number 10, I have Aaron Rodgers, and he is coming off a spectacular game on Monday Night Football against the Lions. The man absolutely balled out. He just does draw a tough matchup here against the 49ers, and since the quarterback position is so stacked, I had to place him here at number 10. After Rodgers, I have Justin Herbert at number 9. He draws a matchup against this Chiefs defense, which honestly has given up a decent amount of points to the quarterback position. Plus, I think they're going to have to throw the ball a lot because they are going to have to keep up with Patrick Mahomes and that high-powered Chiefs offense. Then I have Tom Brady coming in here at number 8. The man has absolutely lit it up the first 2 weeks of the season. He does just see a little bit of a drop because this is a tougher matchup, and he may be without Antonio Brown, which is a pretty big hit to this offense. So I still really like him this week. I just don't know if he has that same ceiling or floor that we saw the first 2 weeks of the season. Then at number 7, I have Josh Allen. This is definitely a little bit of a drop for him, especially from where he was being drafted. He was like the quarterback 2 or quarterback 3 off the board. But honestly, I'm going to need to see a really nice game out of Josh Allen before I kind of push him back up into that like top 3 group. He just hasn't performed well through 2 weeks. I do think he's going to come around, but I would just like to see a bounce back week out of him here in week 3. Then at number 6, I have Dak Prescott. Absolutely balled out week 1, kind of struggled week 2. He has all the weapons he needs around him, so I think he's going to recover this week. Then at number 5, this may come as a surprise to a lot of people. He's another guy who's taking a huge jump in these rankings, but it is going to be Jalen Hurts. And it's honestly time to start recognizing Hurts as a top-tier fantasy football quarterback option. The rushing production for fantasy is just so overpowered at the quarterback position. And here's an example. Jalen Hurts' week 2 performance. He threw for 190 yards and 0 passing touchdowns. So, that's a very, very poor, passing line. But he rushed for 82 yards and a touchdown. And so that 190 passing yards, 82 rushing yards, and that rushing touchdown resulted in a 21.8 point performance. And that's probably an overall bad game for Jalen Hurts. So he's able to put up very good fantasy production in his off games. Not a lot of these passing quarterbacks can give you that. If Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers go out, they throw for 200 yards and a touchdown, they're total busts in your lineup. But Jalen Hurts has that rushing floor, that makes him pretty safe on a week-to-week basis. Plus, he's going to be facing off against the Cowboys, who do not have a very strong defensive unit. So great production for the first 2 weeks of the season and a solid matchup lead me to rank Jalen Hurts here at number 5. Then at number 4, I have Russell Wilson, who has just looked great to start off the season. This Seahawks offense has just been firing on all cylinders. They've been super efficient, a ton of big plays. So I see no reason why I should be dropping Russell Wilson from this top tier slot. Then I have Patrick Mahomes here at number 3, and this is nothing against Mahomes. It's more that I just like the matchups for the guys ranked ahead of him. So just a top tier option, obviously, for Patrick Mahomes. Then Lamar Jackson is in here at number 2. He is going up against the Lions. That is a great matchup for him, and that's why he comes in here at number 2, and he had a great bounce back week 2 performance. Then at number 1, I have Kyler Murray, and overall, I just think Kyler Murray is the best fantasy football quarterback. He combines every single thing you would want. He has the weapons around him. He's been passing insanely well. He has the passing volume. He has that rushing floor. It's a great offense, so the touchdowns are going to be here. So just a complete fantasy football quarterback. And honestly, if he keeps putting up the numbers he's been putting up, he will probably stay at this number 1 slot. All right, so those are my top 20 quarterbacks for week 3 of the NFL season. If you guys enjoyed this content, please just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Also, check out my other positional rankings. So running backs and wide receivers are definitely posted at this time, and then the tight ends will also be posted today. So go check those out. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.